Good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Tuesday, the 4th of February. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Well, I guess we could say today is another good day. There's very little that is earth-shattering going on at the moment in the world of cyber from what I can see. If I've missed stuff, do feel free to let me know. This podcast started out, this briefing started out because in the background I was doing a bit of research in the mornings over my early morning cup of coffee, because it was useful to push stuff out to our SOC team, things to be aware of, stuff that's going on. And just dawned on Nigel and I one day that, if it's interesting for our SOC, it might be interesting for other people as well. So, it's done by an early morning scan through a great deal of the cyber and mainstream press, looking for anything that's actually interesting. Tend not to just list a whole load of its vulnerable fixes unless they're common and the exploits are things that you need to work on regularly or immediately. But trying to pick out some interesting stuff to talk about here. Today there isn't a great deal of stuff that's interesting. So, let's talk about what there is. Google has patched 47, saying I don't talk about things that need to be patched. Well, Android is fairly ubiquitous, and it is definitely worth being aware of vulnerabilities on Android because the devices are all over the place and are often used to access your corporate stuff in ways that you may not have originally planned. So, Google has shipped patches to address 47 security flaws in Android. One of which is believed to be under active exploitation at the moment. That particular vulnerability is CVE 2024-53104 with a CVSS score of 7.8. Although this article doesn't. Do any of us care which version of CVSS scores we're talking about? I suspect that there's a subset of people that find this stuff very important indeed, and to the point where getting it right to the first decimal place is terribly important. And I think a lot of others of us will look at it and go, well, yeah, critical high, medium, low would probably do. Anyway, this has a CVSS score of some sort of 7.8. It's privilege escalation in the kernel. It's the kernel component that's vulnerable is a USB video class driver, the UVC driver. Successful exploitation could lead to physical escalation of privilege. It is apparently under limited targeted exploitation. Read into that what you will. It is, and as hopefully most people listening to this will be aware, Android has its roots in Linux. This particular vulnerability was introduced in Linux kernel version 2.6.26, apparently, which was released in the middle of 2008. So it's been hanging around for a long time. It has been identified and is patched at the moment. There are a whole bunch of other things. The most severe of them is CVE 2024 45569 with a CVSS score of 9.8, which is a critical flaw in Qualcomm's WLAN component, could lead to memory corruption. So if you are running Android devices, as always, the recommendation is to look for updates and apply them ASAP, bearing in mind that there is sometimes a lag between what Google releases in the way of a patch and what your particular vendor or maintainer releases. So you may not, unless you're using Google devices, your updates will most likely come from your manufacturer. In which case, you need to look to your particular vendor for patches. These may lag behind. In some cases, they may actually be ahead. So it is possible that some of these things may have been spotted and fixed by maintainers of your versions on whatever hardware you are using already. And then the other thing that came to my attention today is a little bit more DeepSeek, of the DeepSeek story. I'm going to get bored of this soon, but it is all over the place at the moment. So not directly a problem with DeepSeek, however, attackers are hiding malware in fake DeepSeek PyPy packages. Oh Lord, that's a difficult thing to say. Yes, fake DeepSeek PyPy packages. And unsurprisingly, because DeepSeek has been all over the news, both cyber news and mainstream news, it has found itself being the target of all sorts of things in the world of nefarious actions. So, yeah, be aware if you are using PyPy. The PyPy has picked up a bit of a reputation for being full of nasties. It isn't, but you do have to be careful. You do need to understand what you're doing when you're taking Python packages that other people have created and uploaded somewhere. Yes, there are checks and balances, and I think the maintainers do a pretty damn decent job of trying to keep on top of it. But as we said before, with all of these package repositories, the biggest challenge is that the amount of stuff being created exceeds the ability for humans to check them. So automated checking is almost definitely the starting point for things, and things will slip through as long as they're being dealt with quickly, and so long as the package maintainers are being serious about what they're trying to do in the way of maintaining secure repositories. Then that's probably the best you can get. However, as always, if you are looking to incorporate packages into your Python apps, be careful. Make sure that you are confident that the packages that you're using actually are what they say they are and come from reliable sources, and keep on top of the cyber news for those occasions where things get spotted that were in fact malicious and have slipped through. Well, these particular packages only been downloaded a couple of hundred times so far, have been spotted and are being dealt with. So you're probably okay. But just as a general point, if it's been in the news and it sounds very exciting, especially if there's a certain amount of controversy and people are therefore likely to want to be playing with it, just be aware that there are going to be those that will try to make use of that and get you to download fake versions of things in various ways, loading them up to repositories, putting in Google Ads is another one, fake stuff in Google Ads and so on and so forth. So just be vigilant, be aware, especially if you're playing with DeepSeek at the moment. Good luck to you. Right, that's all from me for today. Hope you have a good Tuesday, and I will